It is one of the most beloved games ever made. A golden cartridge, a boy named Link, a princess to rescue. Most people spend 10 hours finishing it. Some spend a lifetime. But for a small, obsessive community of players, 10 hours was never the point. They wanted to know how fast it could be done. What followed was decades of glitch hunting, route optimization, and one of the most dominant individual performances in speedrunning history. This is the history of the Legend of Zelda world records. Unlike Super Mario Bros., which had an organized speedrunning community forming as early as 2002, The Legend of Zelda took longer to find its footing in the speedrunning world. The game is fundamentally different from Mario. It is not a linear sprint from left to right. It is an open world, 9 dungeons scattered across Hyrule, items hidden in obscure locations, enemies that require specific weapons to defeat. Finishing it fast requires not just execution, but deep knowledge of every room, every enemy pattern, and every pixel of the overworld. Early runners had to figure all of this out from scratch. In the early days, times were measured in the tens of minutes. A complete run of The Legend of Zelda took most skilled players around 35 to 40 minutes. The idea of finishing it in under 30 minutes seemed almost laughable. But there was a glitch sitting inside this game that would change everything. To understand Legend of Zelda speedrunning, you need to understand one thing: the screen scroll glitch. The NES was not built to handle certain combinations of movement and screen transitions. And in The Legend of Zelda, runners discovered that by standing a specific number of pixels away from a wall, and then moving one frame in a side direction, Link would clip through the wall entirely. What this means is simple but extraordinary. Link can pass through solid walls, skip entire screen transitions, travel to areas of the map that were never intended to be accessible. A dungeon that should take 5 minutes to navigate can be crossed in seconds. An overworld section that blocks your path becomes invisible. The game's entire structure begins to collapse. This was not a small trick. This was the foundation of everything that would come next. Every competitive run of The Legend of Zelda uses this glitch. Every world record is built on it. The community had found the key that unlocked the game. Now they had to learn how to use it perfectly. Through the late 2000s and into the 2010s, a community of runners slowly began pushing the record lower. The goal that united them was simple: sub 30 minutes. Finish The Legend of Zelda in under half an hour. A runner named Darkwing Duck held the world record at 30 minutes and 29 seconds. Then he improved it to 30 minutes and 37 seconds. The times were coming down. But breaking 30 minutes still felt impossibly far away. Then a runner appeared who would define this category for years. His name was Lack-Attack24. Lack-Attack24 had been a fixture in the Legend of Zelda speedrunning community for years before he claimed the top spot. Patient, methodical, deeply knowledgeable about every corner of the game. In early 2015, he sat just behind Darkwing Duck.
I don't believe it.
30 minutes and 41 seconds. Close, but not quite. Then, on March 31st, 2015, everything changed. Lack Attack. 24 finished The Legend of Zelda in 29 minutes and 56 seconds. Sub 30 minutes. The barrier that the community had chased for years, broken. And Lack Attack 24 was the one to do it. After defeating Ganon, he remained speechless. The community erupted. But he was not done. What followed was one of the most remarkable periods of dominance in NES speedrunning history. Lack Attack held the world record in every single category of The Legend of Zelda. Any percent, 100%, swordless, second quest, extreme rules, every category, one runner. April 7th, 2017. Lack Attack 24 posted a time of 28 minutes and 47 seconds. He kept pushing. On May 26, 2019, Lack Attack 24 posted what he called the final world record, 27 minutes and 41 seconds. He titled the video simply, "The Final World Record in The Legend of Zelda."
Yeah, man, PB. We did it. Yeah! Woo! Let's go! Woo! Yeah!
For a time, it felt like he might be right. A runner named Greenmario had been steadily climbing the leaderboard for years. Quiet and precise, his times had been creeping toward Lack Attack 24's best run with methodical patience. On July 5th, 2020, Greenmario posted a time of 27 minutes and 36 seconds, 5 seconds faster than Lack Attack 24's supposed final record. The community took notice. Then, on January 18th, 2025, Greenmario struck again, 27 minutes and 42 seconds, cementing himself as the new dominant force in this category. For a moment, it seemed like the record had found a new home. But something else was coming, something that nobody had seen before. Not a faster runner. A brand new discovery that would shatter the entire foundation of what was possible. For as long as anyone had been running The Legend of Zelda, there was one item that every runner needed. The Raft. Dungeon 4 could only be accessed by obtaining the Raft from Dungeon 3. It was an immovable requirement. Every route, every record, every strategy was built around this simple fact. You needed the Raft. Everyone accepted this. Nobody questioned it. Then, on October 22nd, 2025, a runner named Schicksal uploaded a video. The raft was no longer required. Schicksal had discovered what the community immediately named the raft skip, a technique that exploited an interaction between the raft and the whirlwind item to produce an unexpected warping effect. When Link is picked up by both the whirlwind and the raft simultaneously, the game enters a state it was never designed to handle. The whirlwind controls Link's horizontal position while the raft controls his vertical position. Link moves diagonally, carried by both items at once. This causes the recorder to warp Link not to the intended destination, but to an entirely different location, one that bypasses Dungeon 4 completely. A dungeon that had been a mandatory stop in every single run for nearly 4 decades. Gone. Just like that. Routes that had been refined over years were suddenly obsolete. New possibilities that had seemed impossible were suddenly achievable. And the record, which had stood at 27 minutes and 42 seconds, was about to fall dramatically. Schicksal did not just discover the raft skip, he ran it. Armed with his own discovery and months of practice, Schicksal pushed the Legend of Zelda world record to a time that would have seemed impossible before October 2025. 26 minutes and 55 seconds. Nearly a full minute faster than what had been the record just months before. What the Raft skip represents is something rare in speedrunning history. Not just an improvement to an existing technique, but a fundamental reimagining of what the run even looks like. The route that every runner had memorized, practiced, and optimized for years became history overnight. And unlike Super Mario Bros., where the record has been refined to within frames of perfection, The Legend of Zelda is now in a period of open discovery. New routes are being explored. New glitches are being tested. The question is no longer how fast can humans run the old route. The question is, how fast can the new route go? The Legend of Zelda was designed to be an adventure, a world to explore at your own pace. Shigeru Miyamoto built it to feel like the Japanese countryside, open, mysterious, full of secrets. He could not have imagined that 39 years later, people would be finishing it in under 27 minutes. But that is what this community does. They take something familiar and ask a question nobody thought to ask. What if the raft was never required? The answer changed everything. And somewhere right now, in a basement or a bedroom, another runner is asking the next question. The story of The Legend of Zelda. Speedrunning is not over. It is just getting started. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Retroville, where gaming history gets told the way it deserves. Last time we covered Super Mario Bros. Next time we go even deeper. Until then, keep running.